Hello and welcome to a Dominion Online Championship match. This is the round of 32 and we have yurikamome against GrassWonder. And I have a somewhat investment in the outcome of this because if I manage to win my next match, I'll be playing the winner of this one. So we have Exorcist and Sentry thinning, Conclave and Village for Village. Draw is not amazing as Archive and the Spirits, Imp or Wisp. So probably Exorcist is worth opening. Family Inventors, yeah. Sycophant is not too relevant here. But the starting favor does mean that you can open Sentry instead of Exorcist if you want. Yeah, Shop is good. Helps you hit 5. Yeah, see here, like, as Yuri, I think you'd be tempted to put the token on Sentry. Because if you don't, then GrassWonder can. Anyway, it's slightly unfortunate. Because yeah, obviously if you spend the favor, then GrassWonder can keep theirs. But equally, if you buy Exorcist, then they know that you've just had your four coin hand. I guess if you have an Exorcist and they make Sentry cheaper, then you can make it cheaper still. An open Exorcist Sentry. So yeah, actually, I think I would take Exorcist here. Silos is decent as well. Although if you're opening Silos, you probably want to open it with like an Estate Trasher often, which would be Exorcist. So I assume this is Shop, yeah. So the same opening, but GrassWonder kept their starting favor, which could definitely come in handy later. I didn't mention yet, but there's no plus buy, so we probably won't be building too big here. Cardinal seems okay. There aren't that many terminals that you want, so well, that's pretty much the main terminal you want. I guess Improve could be nice to get potentially just like a Duchy on the last turn. Second Century is like it's usually pretty good. Here, I don't know, like there's not great ramping. I guess if Cardinal only costs 3. And it's also reasonably likely that one of your sentries is going to get exiled. I think a gold is honestly okay here. I don't know. Like we could try and add a village so we can play a second Cardinal, but it doesn't seem too important. And an archive isn't really needed because we're pretty thin. And then for Yuri's next turn, they know that their discard is Copper Estate, so they probably thinking about playing Shop first, so that their Sentry definitely trashes those bottom two. Equal if you play Sentry first, then you might be able to trash two estates, but you also might reveal Sentry, and that seems pretty sad. So probably Shop first is they do get the lucky draw. And now they're thinking if they actually want to trash both, because it is a single game, so it could be worth keeping estates potentially. But I think it's too early here to keep them. So yeah, I like that. I think this could be a gold as well. Interesting. So I guess they're trying to put in a second cardinal, which might be good enough to disrupt the deck. Yeah, it's usually stronger on single game boards, his cardinal, so yeah, it could be pretty disruptive. I would imagine this is a cardinal. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the conclave was for, unless you want to improve, possibly. Yuri probably going to lose a sentry here, I think. There's two sentries and a copper, I think, down there. Province already seems reasonable. I would be slightly concerned about what happens if our gold gets exiled, because I'm not actually sure we have enough money to buy a second one to free it. It's probably worth keeping that at this point. So we do miss province here. That's a nice hit. The cardinal though. I think I can see archive, but I probably would just take another gold. We don't really want to free the shop or the sentry too badly. Yuri gets the conclave back, which makes sense. They're very much not really trying to draw at the moment. Like they are very thin, so archive is awkward, but it's not that reliable that you're going to be playing 2 cardinals in a turn, I don't think. This is an interesting decision. They do exile gold, which I think makes sense. Although they do miss conclave and cardinal, so they can't actually buy another gold. I wonder if we start buying duchies. Probably not. I would probably take the gold off exile. I think we're better off. Yeah, the Cardinals have been kind of unlucky. I think we're better off taking a gold here and then provincing more consistently. Because I don't think we're going to hit province that often with only 1 gold in the deck. Especially now we've lost our other gold. So we're actually going to struggle to buy one as well. Yeah, I think that was a pretty bad duchy buy from GrassWonder last time. They were in the lead. They could afford to take a gold and be a bit more conservative. And there's no guarantee that Yuri is going to be consistently promising either. Yeah, that like duchies are fine for cardinal scoring, but not rebuying a gold to free your gold from exile is pretty costly, I think. But we do hit 6 this turn, which is nice. Seven is sad. This will be a duchy, I think. It's difficult to know whether, on average, the second cardinal would pay off. But it has felt like GrassWonder has been ahead for quite a lot of the game. in trouble here though. Yeah, they've just lost. I feel like they must have more money down here to at least hit 5, but maybe not. Yeah, they had lots of money down here and an archive. That's kind of unlucky at the end. I always hate those kinds of games though. Game 2. Probably double amulet seems quite good. There's market towns in case of collision. Um, I think getting thin quickly and then going for a bridge megaturn is probably the play. Although there is obviously Horn of Plenty as well, um, which might be more consistent because unless you get like loads of bridges, like you're going to struggle to empty provinces. I don't think student is worth it for the market towns. Like there's enough village here. Um, Probably you're preferring village green because of the catacombs. Catacomb. I don't know. The synergy where you can discard it. Um, but your captain is also a village. So yeah, we don't need market towns favors that much. And getting thin quickly seems okay. Yeah, bridge amulet makes sense. Double amulet I think also makes sense. First 5 catacombs. Yeah, that's alright. We're pretty over terminal now because we've spent our favor. Well, I assume we're gonna. Maybe we won't spend our favor. We don't really need to pay bridge here. Student. Yeah, I don't like the student here. I think it's kind of slow. Yeah, village green makes sense. If you're lucky, you can find it in the next 2. Yeah, I think just trash both estates. Maybe buy silver. Although silver, we don't really want silver long term, but it could be useful to hit 5 and potentially another unique for Horn. No dice on the village green. So maybe I don't know. I don't know whether you keep or discard those. You could keep and then just play the amulet and buy another bridge or a second village green, I guess. The benefit of skipping is you'll definitely have 2 coppers down there and then you can buy captain. Actually, you only need 1 copper to buy captain. Yeah, that might be better. Just taking a horn. That seems okay as well. Suggest they're going for the horn megaturn rather than the bridges, but I guess you can use the horns to gain all your components and then finish on bridges anyway. This could be, yeah, village green captain makes sense. Especially because you wanna find a village green with this catacombs. GrassWonder is similarly struggling. I have been watching 2 of their turns. They've collided amulets twice now, at least. And then the student is kind of preventing a lot of cycling. I'm not sure we needed a 3rd village green already for Yuri, but it can't be that bad. Oh, we can play catacombs with captain. I hadn't even considered that. That is nice. Conjurer seems good here. Conjurer seems very good here. I don't even know what you do here. Maybe just trash the student. Can take catacombs. Probably playing bridge with captain. Yeah, that seems a fair resignation. We have collection and enlightenment squirrel is very nice. There's no discard attack, is there? No. Oh, there's gang of pickpockets. But probably with guildmaster, you'll have plenty of favors. I probably expect alignment to activate. I'm sure people will be playing Rustic Village and Pilgrim to draw the collections. So open poacher silver. I can see scavenger also maybe in the open. I don't really know. This feels like you're just kind of waiting for enlightenment to happen, and then the game actually starts. Because that's going to be effectively your thinning, and maybe your like a lot of your draw. Poacher is going to become worse at some point because I'm sure a pile will empty, but probably not for a while. I hadn't even noticed that the alignment will mean, yeah, collection. You can buy the coppers for points as well. I was just thinking about the copper squirrel thing. So this game could last a while. Which means you definitely want to win the collection split. I can see the case that you might want farmers market for the buy, but I don't think you want to open it. And then you don't really want vassal until enlightenment hits. Rustic village open. I mean that kind of just seems like it's helping your opponent to an extent. First five, maybe pilgrim before collection. That's interesting. I thought Yuri might have squirreled the vassal there because they would hit five next turn and be able to squirrel the village. Um, Although then they would obviously have to spend their favor to keep the next hand. I think that's another estate, isn't it? For GrassWonder at the bottom. I think probably draw it and get a rustic village. And there's a copper. Where did their estate go? Oh, they discarded an estate with vassal. I guess I think about squirreling. Well, I also think about what to discard, I guess. I think squirrel seems worth it. You're not really trying to buy like. I mean, if you draw a copper, sure, you could maybe get a sycophant as well, which is okay. I do think a pilgrim would be worth it, but long term you don't need the draw, so maybe you just shovel the collections into a deck that you can. Not super clear to me. I guess they're thinking of drawing and trying to get an extra sycophant, maybe. Or it could be collection vassals or. Not sure about that. Like, you don't need the points yet. You can squirrel the sycophants, sure. And then you have to burn the favors to keep the hand that you drew. I think it's worth just squirreling, yeah. Feels like there's definitely can be an advantage to whoever can activate enlightenment on their turn and set up the squirrel coppers. So it seems, yeah, it's kind of been mostly squirreling villages so far, which makes sense. I can't remember what's down there as to whether you would try playing the vassal normally. No sycophant, that's a nice hit. Sure, a squirrel. Squirrel the other one. If you take rustic villages, then you have a chance of activating on your next turn. But another collection also seems good. Yuri does have the guild master already, which is nice. You really want to hit another rustic village. with one of these vassals. Although, looking at Yuri's hand, that would help them a lot as well. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you want to take collection here. It's definitely going to be a long game. So, I can't remember what the current split is. Is it 5-4 to GrassWonder on collections? I think seems like they're looking for collections. I would have probably just squirreled all of that and bought the last collection. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed maybe a little bit greedy, hoping for a good draw from the coppers this turn instead of getting, 2 draw for each of the next turn. I think we just squirrel Vassal here and buy Collection Guildmaster. Hmm. Yeah, that Pilgrim is suggesting maybe they aren't seeing it. Because now that Enlightenment is active, your copper is like all the draw you need. Still, I think, well, probably Yuri will do it, and then they'll see. And then the fact that they're up on collections will mean that they can win anyway. Do we play that in the action phase? Yeah, interesting. You should take a free copper as well. I think it depends on your settings whether the way button appears on the card. Some people might have that turned off. I think you can just squirrel village copper here. They need to just set up by squirreling heavily once, and then they can go consistently from there. But like, yeah, you surely you'd rather draw 2 cards next turn with your copper instead of 1 card this turn. You want to get at least 1 sycophant, and then I don't know, maybe a pilgrim could be okay. Not sure we have the terminal space necessarily, and then yeah, you want to make sure you use the rest of your buys on coppers as well. I've got to take my antibiotics. I'll be back shortly. Playing at 7. I'm back. Still no scrolling, you see. I'm surprised GrassWonder doesn't have a guildmaster yet. Like, it's a bit of a pain to keep buying sycophants. But I guess the piles are going to run anyway before that's too important. Um, I'd be tempted to just squirrel all of the coppers and then I'm not sure what. Like we don't really want to lower too much. But equally, there's not that much point buying provinces. It's only 2 extra points than anything else. Hmm, abundance makes sense. Yeah, it's the best plus buy apart from collection on the board. I'm not sure why we're not starting with village pilgrim. Might as well discard. Yeah, you just need one more collection. So maybe it's worth playing poacher first. You can definitely play pilgrim before your vassal because it's going to help you set it up as well. Yeah. So this wins. Um, I don't know. I think a lot of that was like they hit double five early and then won the collection split, which definitely seemed like the most important part of the game. But yeah, after that it seemed a bit suboptimal. Um, Too much just playing coppers as cantrips. I'm concerned that they haven't seen it because they're still playing. But yeah, they do. They do see it. Fun Kingdom, for sure. Now we have slightly awkward draw. There's Wishing Well or Seer, but you'd need to play a highway or two before your Seers to get them to draw the things you want. Um, What do we open? Maybe Wishing Well develop. Sickness. I don't think Sickness is going to activate. Tea House seems worse than Highway for payload here, I would say, but maybe not. There's also all the like fun Highway develop things where you can turn your coppers into fives and stuff depending on if you get enough in play. The coppers are going to be the main problem here because they can't be drawn by Seer, and the develop thinning coppers is pretty bad. There've been some pretty thinky kingdoms so far, I would say. I'm not really in a thinky mood, so maybe I've just been waffling. Yeah, 5-2, 5-2 is good with spices. I hadn't even noticed they had 5-2 over there. I guess you can develop with it. I could see Wishing Well as well. Straight for the silver is interesting. I guess they're prioritizing trying to hit 5. Tea House open. That doesn't feel right. I guess if you hit 6, which we don't, like early crop rotation could be quite nice. But as soon as you have plus buy, Tea House is just like as good as Highway. And then if you're buying more than 2 things a turn, then Highway becomes better. This Innkeeper opening has not worked that well, I don't think. I'm quite surprised by it as well. I don't know that it's like that much better than Wishing Well in the long term, and I think in the short term, Wishing Well is probably better. So GrassWonder does have crop rotation now, which is definitely nice. But they don't have a develop yet. So given that they're shuffling next turn, probably you'd want to put one in now. I think I like develop wishing well, huh? Obviously, like developing the estates means you can't use them for crop rotation, but I think that's fine. Feels like GrassWonder's not really going for much depth control here at the moment. They've just put in a bunch of payloads so far. I mean, like the payload is all good, but um, I think you want to start drawing. I guess we want to develop wishing well, or estate to wishing well, and buy maybe a seer, maybe another innkeeper. I think I'm coming on innkeeper because the copper trashing is so bad that it's probably easier to just filter past them. But I still don't necessarily like in the opening. So GrassWonder gets a swap, but I'm not really sure what their targets are. Like all of their actions are quite good already. I guess the border guards don't really do anything, so you could swap those out. You can also swap into border village if you played highway for gains, which I haven't seen. Yeah. Do we swap Wishing Well out for something? It feels like we want to keep it developed. You don't really want one highway because then you have to turn your coppers into estates, which is pretty sad. And yeah, we can't get a second. Can't get a second highway this turn. Second swap makes sense. I don't know what's at the bottom of the deck at the moment. It says 3 coppers and an estate, and well, and a whole previous turn in the discard. I feel like you want another Seer, but you don't want to play one now because that's not the greatest shuffle to trigger. Oh no, there's not that much in the deck actually. I didn't see that they'd shuffled this time. So it's just 3 coppers in the discard, but still you don't really want to trigger that. So the bottom 3 have an estate. This could be spices, and then you could buy another border village. So it seems good too. And an innkeeper maybe? Yeah, swapping border village out seems right. All swaps also seem pretty good. I think we can get rid of the tea house for a Seer. I don't think we should have that. Equally, there's not that much that our Seer is going to draw. I'm still pondering Innkeeper versus Wishing Well in terms of dealing with the coppers. Assuming you can draw both of them with Seer. Like Seer, you're quite likely to have like 2 coppers on top, which we can then draw with Wishing Well. But the cycling from Innkeeper is maybe more effective to like kick off at the start of turn. And also, if you play like 2 highways already, then you can still draw Innkeeper with Seer, but you can draw Wishing Well then. I think GrassWonder should be doing more, pushing more stuff. Like the extra border village is not helping too much unless you can line up with a swap reliably. But yeah, you kind of want to be swapping into border village rather than out of it as well. That was a very nice Seer draw. I assume we just play another Seer and then think. I don't see why we wouldn't. Yeah. Then we can swap border village out for swap, maybe. I wonder if festival is going to be an easier source of plus buy than spices. But you don't really need the village, so you'd normally say that spices would be better, but you can't gain spices as easily mid-turn. Obviously, you can swap into border village and then gain a spices. I don't know what that bottom card is. Is it another copper? Yeah. Probably swap is okay, and then border village, Seer. Yeah, I like those buys. This is a very nice hand for Yuri as well. They can kick off by swapping Innkeeper into like Highway, maybe, so that the Seer will draw. Yeah, it's not coming together for GrassWonder on the other side. I think they still only have one Seer, don't they? Which isn't really enough. Um, yeah, there's a lot of junk down there. I don't think you can trigger particularly. Like best case, you could probably swap Highway into Seer and then hope you draw your estates, but um, Yeah, that seems risky. Like obviously you have crop row as well, so it's not terrible to leave in a state, but you can't be leaving like 4 junk cards on top. This is a better starting hand for GrassWonder for next turn. Um, I don't think they have the gains to pile. I could be wrong. Obviously swap his gains if you swap into Border Village. But that's going to be using a lot. I think we want to Seer. Yeah. We can play this one as well. It was interesting to play the highway before the Seer. That would only help us draw Border Village, which we didn't have any of down there. How much should we discard at this turn? 3 coppers. It's not awful. This could be a Seer, maybe. We're still probably gonna top deck coppers, but at least we guarantee finding the well. We might top deck 1 copper, but we'll guarantee to find the highway. I wouldn't say that we need to score here this time because GrassWonder doesn't have that many gains. So what are we gonna have? We've only got 2 buys, which is like not ideal. So maybe we want to take a festival here, but then that's gonna leave 2 coppers on top. We could take a develop and then turn copper into wishing well or something. Put that on top. But that seems worse, I think. So yeah, if we take Seer and draw highway, we can buy 2 border villages for I don't know what. Anything. I guess you'd want to take things that don't lower too much just in case, but yeah, as I said, I don't think it's a real concern. GrassWonder has 4 swaps and 1 spices. It's kind of a weird time to stop and think, I would say. Probably you'd want to think before you trigger the shuffle. And yeah, I guess like depending on what you were planning to get in off the swap. Develop on top, yeah, probably wishing well. Not develop. Um, well, that's very confusing. Oh, we're practicing develop. That makes sense. I'm probably border village, Seer. You've got a highway on top, and then you just need to find a Seer really to kick off your turn. Surely swap border village into Seer, and then we can draw. I don't know what it could be if it's not Seer. Yeah, I mean Innkeeper, like the +3 -3 is not even necessarily more cards than Seer is drawing, and you have to discard 3. And especially since we're behind, I feel like you want to play a bit more. I don't know what the word is, but you want to try and maximize your output rather than play for reliability. Probably want to swap Innkeeper into Border Village something. Not sure what that something would be. Maybe Spices. Although we do have some junk in the discard, so we might not be getting back around to whatever we gain off Border Village. I'm pretty sure we don't have another Seer down there. Swapping out Seer is a bit surprising. I guess they're concerned about piles and they want to put stuff back. So there's 4 cards in the discard, I think. Is that right? So you could do the +3 -3. Seems okay. I still don't know why this is a tea house and not a highway. But I don't think it matters too much. I guess the piles. You don't want a lower highway. Mm. I'm sure you just swap into Seer here. Innkeeper. I really don't like it. Like, you would have drawn all three of those cards anyway with Seer. Sure, there's a risk that you only find coppers with your Innkeeper, but like, would you rather draw those with Innkeeper anyway that much? Like, I think we have border villages down there, so maybe we play Highway before the Seer. Oh, there is a border village on top as well. I don't know if there's a second one down there. There's definitely another Seer down there, I think. I still think it's well, I can't see a win at the moment. You can obviously like get a lot of gains from you can swap into border village swap and gain the swap back. But then you need to take province duchy at the end of that. Well, I guess the duchy could come off border village, but it still seems pretty difficult from here, I would say. And I think you're far enough ahead that you don't need to go for a win, because if you miss, that's um, likely going to be pretty bad. Yeah, I do think Yuri only has one border village, which is on top, so you don't need to play highway before Seer. So we've got 5 swap players. I guess could be more if we. No, it couldn't be more. We've got to develop. We've got spices for a game. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one, but I'm not seeing it. Most likely, I would say, is probably border village swap Seer. Are we developing something now? Is that where we played Border Village first? That's quite neat as well. So we can swap into Border Guard 4 times, Border Village even 4 times. But we don't have plus buy anymore. I'm still not saying it, but yeah, I'm not thinking too hard. I feel like you need to develop maybe for the extra gains. So you could swap highway out for Border Village develop. Developers Seer into Border Village Innkeeper. Swap the Innkeeper out for Border Village Spices. I don't know. Oh yeah, because you can get that duchy with the Border Village. Very nice win. I feel like I thought about that earlier and then I forgot that the last Border Village game came with a duchy. That is 3-1 to Yuri. And we might be switching tables. I'm not sure if 5-2 and 4-3 is too different. I think I like rope raise on both split. The payload seems kind of awkward here. You have pickaxe, but then you kind of have to buy the silvers. There's no way to gain the fodder to pickaxe that I can see. I guess like Crumbling Castle kind of could be useful for that. Draw is Herald, maybe Archive. I don't think Pillage is going to be that relevant, um, as it usually isn't. The Archive on 5 seems decent, to be fair. I can see the case for that of a rope, because we have raise for trashing anyway at the start. I think the Herald draw is not great because we are going to want quite a lot of treasures. So maybe we just go with Archives, and then the 4s could be more ropes. I don't think Academy is going to be worth it. There's no terminals that we care about. And investment can be nice for scoring when there's loot, but I don't think it's going to be too relevant here. If there was like sack of loot, maybe it'd be better, but it's going to be hard to get loads of loot to a pickaxe. I definitely think I like raise rope, but it's kind of awkward. Like if you find your rope turn 3 and your raise turn 4, because you don't want to necessarily trigger their shuffle. But otherwise, I think it's good. Both finding raise with a state turn 3. No archive for GrassWonder, which would have been very handy. I think these can just be a silver. We're going to want to hit 5 a bunch, and then the silvers can be turned into loot later. No rope for Yuri either. I think this is another rope on the 4. Because the rope that's down here is going to miss the shuffle. Nice draw. I mean, we take silver, and then maybe second archive. I can see pickaxe working as well. We're probably getting a bit too thin to need an extra archive. Ports. I guess ports are just pickaxe food, which makes sense. We're surely trashing silver. I think we want another archive here. We can transport archive and then buy archive. Seems quite good. Shoving ports in, like they're useful for sure, but if we're not drawing, then we don't need them immediately. And like especially getting 4 in one turn, like we're only going to trash one of those at a time. We're out of the States, so I don't know if we want to start trashing copper with rays or just kill it itself. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of a unlucky draw, but also kind of not. I think two archives last turn was definitely a lot better than 4 ports. Because you might not need all the archives like immediately, but then you can add the ports afterwards. It just helps the cycling a lot more, in my opinion. Yeah, all the ports gone now. Are we gonna find pickaxe? There it is. Assuming we have 3 loot, we're gonna have 9. Which again, we can transport. To gain 2 archives. We might want a second pickaxe as well, but I think that can come next turn. I haven't really been watching Yuri's turns too much. Seems like they don't have a loot yet, but I guess they can now. They have trash coppers though, which I think I assume both of those coppers were. Oh no, did they trash those coppers? GrassWonder is definitely trashed. One with pickaxe at least. Chalice is not great. It's not terrible long term because the draw is lacking a bit, so sometimes you'd rather have a peddler than a gold. And I guess we still hit 5, so hitting 7 is not like that much better anyway. So maybe it's alright. I would say doubloons is pretty good here. In terms of the ones that aren't usually good. Obviously, hammer is good. Probably the best loot on the board would be hammer. This could be second pickaxe and archive, maybe. Yeah, seems good to me. I think maybe we take rope here as Yuri. And take pickaxe and kill the rope. I don't know. Rope's a good card. Yeah, crumbling I think is good here actually. I quite like that buy. Interestingly, you can gain small castle with transport if you just want to have it, but don't want it in your deck. Might make it easier to get haunted castle, which I think is also um, something you want to buy. And I guess we can probably afford it. I'm not sure if there's no, there isn't a set of loots that would stop us buying it. So we've got 10, maybe, or 13, or I mean, we can have a bunch of combinations. We only need 8 to get small and haunted. Probably there's not that much point saving M4 for next turn though. Like you'd rather um, spend the money. So 13 could be small haunted and rope, or you can set one aside and go small haunted silver. Assuming you're transporting the small. Although then, if you show them that, well, you can actually, I guess you can then transport the opulent as well. Which would, yeah, if you can set aside copper, transport twice and buy haunted. Seems quite good. I think it's worth having the castles, like, in general, but not, you don't need them in your deck. Nice. They're going to take opulent as well. I think that would make sense to me. I'm not sure what else you'd be transporting. But yeah, GrassWonder I think doing well here. Having 4 out of the 5 archives gained so far is good. So maybe the 5-2 was actually good. They don't want that. It's weird to me to transport anything else because you're not gonna, you're not gonna put in your next shuffle. So I don't know. Like I'd rather buy a silver than transport an archive or something. But I do like transporting the opulent. Double archive, I think seems good there. Probably play archive first in case you draw a pickaxe, and then you might stop. I think you take pickaxe, yeah. Spell scroll seems nice. I'd probably turn that into an archive straight away. Like you're very likely to find a treasure that you can pick up and use this turn. And then probably we want to. So yeah, I think spell scroll to archive, and then score probably via provinces. Because we can't get all the way to kings. Yeah, I don't think sprawling is great necessarily. I don't know what else you'd be turning spell scroll into. I guess it would be gold. You could have also thought about before the second pickaxe. I guess either way it didn't matter. You could have turned spell scroll into investment to get the VP, but it's not that many VP. What would have been 4. So yeah, I don't think that's worth it. I don't see why we wouldn't gain archive here. Like we're not gonna lose like next turn, and then we get the extra draw next turn as well. Yeah, puzzle box is nice. That's surely automatic. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty lazy. I don't really like thinking, but some of these decisions where these players have been stopping and pausing um, have surprised me a bit. Um, so I guess we puzzle box a copper. 16 seems like a nice number. And then we can take province double archive, or double province. I don't think we need double province. Yuri's not going to be able to get 27 to power the castles. But double province seems fine as well. Province sprawling, maybe even, but I don't think sprawling is um, like necessarily better than province. Seems close. Yeah, reasonable. This turn is not great for Yuri. I think that's just kind of the problem is Yuri's deck is not great. Um, we can maybe take sprawling, like we do have humble, so it's an extra point. I don't think it will matter either way though. The chance of winning is very low, it seems. So we take Amphora and yeah, 2 ports. Probably just stop here and pickaxe both the ports. But it doesn't seem wrong to draw and then try and find an archive either. We could take the castles, but that I don't think that helps us really. I'm not seeing a pile otherwise. I mean, it's safe because Yuri's not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna be getting that many points this turn. They didn't have any archives out. Only one rogue. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily better than just taking provinces, but it does close the game quicker. So 3, 2. and Yuri starting. Still match point for them. Oh, bureaucracy. I hate bureaucracy so much. And it's definitely gonna trigger because River Shrine is great. This is quite awkward. Goat Herd seems good as well. It's very likely to be drawing you cards. I think it's slow enough that Marshland is going to be worth it. There's also there's Bigger Crypt, which is okay, and Crypt can help with the coppers from bureaucracy, but there's not enough other draw unless you're getting loads off Go Herd. You could try First Mate, draw to X stuff, but there's not amazing payload. Like there's Count and Gladiator, and then you can use Acting Troop for Village. Yeah, this is super awkward. The 4 seems like it will definitely be River Shrine. The 3 probably Go Herd. And then if you find Go Herd after your opponent just found River Shrine, then you're pretty happy. Yeah, I'm really unsure about this. You can make a case for Count to gain duchies and then score with Marshland. But your deck really doesn't hold green very well. Because there's no draw. There is guide to cycle a bit past the junk. But the gains are also limited, so it's kind of difficult to buy too many guides. Beggar is interesting. Seems I don't know. I mean, if you're just accepting that you're not gonna get deck control, maybe it's okay. Opening it seems a bit early though. Very interesting. It doesn't feel right, but it might work. I mean, I guess this is a crypt. That's surely the plan is bigger crypt. Maybe they're contemplating a wedding. I don't really know. Whoa, we're just rushing offline. Oh wait, that it's very interesting because not trashing also makes your opponent's go herd a bit silly, which is good. But yeah, it's going to take a while to empty the piles. And I don't know what you do on 4 as GrassWonder. Like, do they take an acting troop? It could come in handy. Do they just buy an estate? Do they keep buying beggar? Guide seems an option as well. It's a pretty bad draw to find 2 beggars and 2 green cards. I think Yuri probably needs payload, so maybe a silver. It's also interesting if there's only one person using River Shrine, then bureaucracy is not going to activate most likely. And yeah, not having to deal with bureaucracy would probably make Yuri's deck work better. Last turn, GrassWonder did just take an estate, which seems reasonable. And then I guess all these 7s are just going to be marshland estate. I think we trash River Shrine here, we go ahead. Yeah, I agree. First mate is good here. Um, I'm still struggling to see how Yuri like ramps up much. They just started on the marshlands. I don't know. It seems like GrassWonder's going to win this one. Um, at least so far. I could be proven wrong. Um, are we thinking of revealing it and burning our villager? Doesn't seem worth it. I mean, it's not super likely GrassWonder has a marshland in hand either. Um, obviously they'll have a copper. And yeah, I know we can see that they don't have one, but yeah, it's not super likely. The first one you can obviously reveal Gladiator as well. Um, I guess we're gonna get to Fortune. Even from there, it's not. Um, well, we're not gonna go there this time. And even from there, it's not super easy to score loads from, yeah, from this kingdom. I guess they're just going for more marshland. Interesting. I'm not sure about that. I think you obviously want to deny marshland to an extent, but you also want to try and hit Fortune. I think it's very interesting though. I mean, all GrassWonder needs is to find a beggar and like two other coppers, and then they can buy marshland estate every time. So the marshlands are gone. Um, I guess GrassWonder probably switches to duchies. surprised we still had. I thought we trashed River Shrine ages ago. Did we not trash it that one time? I'm not sure first mate is going to do too much here. It's difficult to like line up with loads of cards that are going to help you draw. I guess even by itself it's like a lab, so it's probably fine. We do get the fortune, but seems pretty difficult to catch up regardless. Oh, I know. Yeah, we know that they don't have a silver. It's getting close. Turns out a deck full of some coppers and no other treasures doesn't hit 5 that regularly. Um, I guess they're thinking about flipping, but I think this hand seems good enough to play. And we get double. Wow. I think the marshlands just ticked, didn't they? And again, surely. Surely toss this end. Yeah, wow. That was well played. I think, yeah, they went 4 and 4 on marshlands as well. I think that was actually quite important because if GrassWonder got the rest of the marshlands, it would have been quite a bit harder to come back. That was a very interesting game. So those 4-2 to Yuri. Well played, and they will play either me or VR Smith in the next round. Our matches later this evening. Thanks all for listening. See ya.